Today we are stepping into one of the most unforgettable stops on our Florida 2025 road trip, the Key West Lighthouse and Keeper Quarter Museum. Right here at 938 Whitehead Street, across from the legendary Hemingway House, this lighthouse has been guiding ships since 1848, surviving hurricanes, shipwrecks, and shaping over a century of Key West history. And in today's videos, we are taking you all the way to the top of the lighthouse for a full 360-degree view of Old Town Key West. We will explore the history behind this place, walk through the Keeper Museum, and uncover a story of storm, shipwrecks, and the people who protected this island long before tourism ever existed. And of course, we wrap up with one of the freshest seafood stops in town, the perfect reward after climbing 88 steps. So lace up your shoes because we are climbing to the top, uncovering hidden histories and showing you the best view in all of Key West. Hey there everyone, you're watching The ViluShow. I'm Vince and it's time for another Friday Funday adventure. As we approach the property of the Key West Lighthouse, the story began long before the tower you see was built. The first version of Key West Beacon was erected in 1825, a 65-foot wooden tower on Whitehead Point. The islands attempt to guide ships safely around the deadly coral reef that lines these waters. But those reefs were relentless. For decades, shipwrecks littered the shoreline, and savaging wrecks became a major and dangerous industry in Key West. So when the Great Havana Hurricane of 1846 smashed through and destroyed the original lighthouse, leaving nothing but a white sand beach, there were no question, Key West needed a safer, stronger lighthouse. In March of 1847, Congress appropriately funds, and by January 15, 1848, the new brick tower and original keeper dwelling were completed. This inland location was chosen deliberately, built on coral bedrocks about 15 feet above sea level to survive future storms. As we walk through the entrance, each sign and plaque help you feel how vital this place was. Not just a tower, but a lifeline. The reef, then uncharted, made every voyage dangerous. Without a working lighthouse, ship risked crashing. Without a keeper, there'll be no light. These reefs were part of what's now Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary, the only barrier coral reef in continental USA, stretching more than 2,900 square miles, safeguarding hundreds of islands and ecosystem. This network makes lighthouse absolutely crucial, and Key West Reef warning lights one of the most important in the region. So if you love history, shipwreck stories, or just want to feel close to the sea raw power, this walkway gives you the foundation, the reason we are climbing up that tower. Now comes the climb, 88 iron step winding up through history. It's not easy if you're carrying gears or camera. The stairs are tight, steep, and recent visitor advise wearing comfortable sneakers. But every step carries weight, not just in metal, but in memories. Keeper used to ascend this step in all weather, storm, heat, hurricane, protecting lives at sea. And then the reward. From the top, the island unfolds in every direction. Let's take a slow panoramic lap and explore what else you see. Straight ahead, the Outermore Pier, built by the US Navy after World War I. It was designed to protect warships and submarines entering Key West Harbor, a critical defense point for decades. Next, the bustling Key West Harbor, once a hotspot for wreck salvaging, custom, and shipping. Back in the 1800s, the reefs were a graveyard for hundreds of ships, and this harbor where survivors, wreckers, and merchants gather. Turning toward the northeast, that's Mallory Square, where every evening the island comes alive with a sunset celebration, street performers, music, food, and a crowd celebrating the golden hour, a tradition that blends history, art, and joy. There, the imposing red stone building is the former custom house and old post office, built in 1891. It once handled custom, court cases, and postal service. Today, it houses the Island Museum of Art and History. It reminds us of how Key West was once a key entry point for trade, immigration, and naval supply. The Monroe County Courthouse, built in 1890, still serves today, a symbol of continuity and community through generations of Key West change. Spot the white steeple? That's Cornish Memorial Church, representing centuries of faith, resilience, and community in Key West African American heritage. Down toward Duval Street, you'll see La Concha Hotel, opened in 1926. Fun fact, famous author Tennessee Williams is said to have finished writing a streetcar named Desire here, adding a brush of literary history to the seaside skyline. That quaint white building is St. Paul Church, originally built in 1832 and rebuilt multiple times after hurricane, a reminder of faith enduring through storms. Among downtown rooftops, you'll catch a glimpse of the Grease Building, once a 1912 department store, evident that Key West had been a hub of commerce and not just tourism or shipping. That waterfront area up north once served as Trumbull Point, the depot of the Overseas Railway, the only mainland land linked to the Key before modern bridge existed. The old steam plant powered the island in early 1900s, but now sit transformed into condos, a vivid example of Key West history being repurposed. See that little rise over the horizon? That's Mount Trashmore, a former landfill, now the highest point in the Keys. Kinda weird to think one of the island peaks started as a dump. The towering white church is St. Mary's Star of the Sea, founded in 1851, one of the oldest parishes in South Florida, witnessing century of change. In that resident patch sits Newman United Methodist Church, active since 1887, part of Key West's living history of community and continuity. That beautiful Victorian house along the shore is the southernmost house, built in 1896 from a permanent Civil War era family. Today, it reminds us Key West was also home to luxury and legacy long before Florida tourism bloomed. And just below, the famous Southern Point marker, only about 90 miles from Cuba, a symbol of how close this little island is to different worlds. Near the harbor, you see Whitehead Point, site of the original 1825 lighthouse destroyed in 1846. The sea reclaimed it, but history never forgets. And way off in the distance, that small speck is Sand Key Lighthouse, guarding reef 6 nautical miles out, a silent partner in the Keys network of maritime safety. Back then, this lighthouse weren't landmark, they were lifeline. Finally, to the southwest, you see Fort Zachary Taylor, a pre-Civil War fortress that held strategic importance and these days double as one of Key West's most beautiful beaches. From 88 steps above sea level, this island changes, from reef guarding sentinel to history town to modern tourist paradise. But through it all, the lighthouse stands, reminding us what made Key West possible. Down below the tower, the history continues, not of ships but of people. Welcome to the Keeper Quarters Museum, where the lives of those who ran the lighthouse come alive. This house was built in 1887, became home to lighthouse family, the keeper, their wives, children for generations. After several renovations, it was restored to its early 1900s state in the late 1990s. As you walk room to room, parlors, dining hall, bedrooms, kitchen, you can almost hear footsteps, dinner conversation, and creak of floorboards, the distant sea breeze. One of the most moving exhibit, the name of every keeper and assistant who worked this light over the years, a roll call of dedication, often unsung but essential. Inside a glass case, brass oil cans, cleaning tools, spare wicks, reflectors, all once vital equipment. Before electricity and automation, every night safety depends on these small, delicate tasks. In 1858, the lighthouse received the third order Fresnel lens, a powerful upgrade that made the beam visible much further across the water. It's an example of how technology and human will combine to keep this island safe. One quarter of the museum is dedicated to George Meade, the Army engineer who designed lighthouse in Florida before the Civil War fame. His early work helped shape safe passages for ships, a little-known chapter of his legacy. It's fascinating to see how war, peace, and engineering intersects on this small island. There's even a hands-on exhibit teaching classic sailor knot, bowlines, clove hitch, reef knots, the same skill keeper and sailor used long before modern ropes and automation. It gives you a small taste of what life was like. No autopilot, just hand over hand effort over open sea. Perhaps the most powerful section, the story of woman lighthouse keeper. Barbara Moriarty, widow of the first keeper, took over in 1832 and faithfully kept the light burning until about 1864. Nearly 40 years of service through storms, hurricane, and social change. She wasn't alone. Several women served as principal keeper over the years, breaking stereotype, proving that lighthouse duty was a responsibility, not a gender. Standing there, reading their names and story give you chills. Their dedication saved lives. This wasn't just an outpost, it was home, with children growing up, families celebrating birthdays, spouses writing letters, and everyday moments slowed by sea air and island sun. Some of those families even survived the 1846 hurricane. Unimaginable bravery and luck. Outside between the tower and the keeper house, the property is dotted with tropical plants, sea grapes, gumbo limbo, palms, and coastal scrub, part of the natural ecosystem that define the Keys. It's to remind you this lighthouse wasn't just built for people, it belongs to the reef, the sea, and the land. This museum doesn't preserve just brick and metal, it preserves lives, courage, and the way life that guard Key West through centuries. All that history worked up an appetite, so next we'll head over to Eaton Street Seafood Market, a laid-back local spot that knows how to do seafood right. We order the famous conch salad, fresh, tangy, bright with citric, onion, pepper, and local conch meat. It hit the spot after salty sea air and steep stairs. We also try a few of their other Key West staples, fresh fish, sandwich, local sides, all served with the island hospitality. While we waited, we talk about the lighthouse climb, share what we learned, and in classic Key West style, the day turned into dinner, stories, and smile. If you are planning a visit, mix history and flavor. Climb the lighthouse, then digest it all with fresh seafood. It's a combo only Key West can deliver. From 88 steps through history to plates of fresh island seafood, today gave us the perfect taste of Key West life. But like every great road trip, it doesn't end here. Next time, we're stepping inside a tropical paradise. Hundreds of butterflies, flamingo, lush gardens at the Key West Butterfly Conservatory. Then we'll taste true island vibe with authentic Cuban coffee. Strong, smooth, and full of flavor. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Before you go, drop a comment below. If you were here, would you climb the 88th step, try the conch salad, or explore the butterfly house first? And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell so you'll be the first to know when the new adventures drop. It really helps the channel grow and reach more amazing viewers like you. That's all folks, until next time, see ya!